Hi there, my name is Roland and welcome back to this fourth video in our series of 7 where we're looking at the question, are you in the right job? In the last 2 sessions, we looked at why you might be in your job and what your motivation might be for leaving or staying. In this session, we're going to look at how God has created you and what kind of job fits you. You might think this is a pointless discussion. After all, you already know what you want. But bear with me, let's have a look. First of all, we know that God created each of us to be unique and special in our own way, each fit to the purpose that He has planned for us. I'm going to read from the Bible. Check these verses from 2 Chronicles, chapter 34, verses 10 through 13, where we hear the story of how people with various gifts are called to rebuild the temple of the Lord. Then they entrusted it to those appointed to supervise the work on the Lord's temple. They paid the workers who repaired and restored the temple. They also gave money to the carpenters and the builders to purchase dressed stone and timber for joists and beams for the buildings that the kings of Judah had allowed to fall into ruin. The workers labored faithfully. The Levites had charge of the laborers and supervised all the workers from job to job. Some of the Levites were secretaries, some scribes, some gatekeepers. Do you see how God is using all sorts of people to complete His project? Laborers, purchasing agents, managers, secretaries, scribes, gatekeepers, something for everyone. And do you remember 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 31? So whether you eat or drink or whatever you do, do it all for the glory of God. You know, if our objective is to glorify God in all that we do, including our work, then it makes sense that we should be using the special talents and unique advantages that we've been given for our work also, right? Let me give you a couple examples to think about this. It's a little bit embarrassing, but first, when I was a young man, I thought it would be really cool to be a rock star, to be up on stage in front of thousands of fans with my guitar. Awesome. And as a teenager, I turned the music up extra loud, played the whole air guitar thing, imagining my success already. You know the problem? I would never be a rock star. God didn't give me the gift of music. Even at church today, I can't clap and sing at the same time. It's not possible. And at school as a kid, the only class for which I got a failing grade, well, you guessed it, music. Music was not my gift, no matter how much I wanted it to be. But working with numbers, hey, no, that was another story. So easy, so fun. I guess that's why I ended up an engineer. Or how about another example? This time, later, when I've been out of school and working for about 10 years already. Although my first job started with lots of numbers and technical stuff, and was easy, after a while I was assigned more and more non-technical tasks, more difficult. First, some sales support, then some sales and marketing help, and then some project management. You get the idea. Apparently project management's one of those jobs that's a necessary step toward moving into non-technical jobs when you're an engineer. Problem was, it wasn't my thing. It was like music. Sure, I could do it, but it was really like having my teeth pulled. So much fun it was for me. Not. Patiently examining and tracking the intricate details of schedules, costs, progress on tasks remaining just didn't interest me at all. Still, it needed to be done, and I was being asked to do it. Well, I did eventually work my way through that phase of my career, mainly by exercising my limited supervisor authority to ask someone else on my team to help me. Hey, can you do the detailed work and pass me back the results? I'll then give the reports. It got me through that period of my career and actually helped develop my delegation skills, something that really came back to help me later in my management roles. How about you? How are you wired? What do you enjoy? Or let's ask it another way. What kind of person did God create you to be? As you look for a new job or consider staying in the one you have, it's important. It's really important that you know how you're wired and what that means for your working life. Along the way in my working life, I've met many people who think the best way forward is to be promoted to supervisor, team leader, or manager. Then they'll have made it. You know, the culture around us that's so prevalent leads people to think that they have to go for that kind of a promotion in order to reach success in their working life. Nobody wants to be a failure, so many people push for a management position. Maybe you know the feeling. But you know what? Many of these people are just not well suited to take on a management or a leadership role. A role where decisions need to be made and responsibility needs to be accepted. In that job, you need to be accountable not only for your work, but also for the work of others, even others that might not be under your direction. You're responsible. So here's what I'm telling you today. You need to know who you are, what you're good at, what you enjoy, who God created you to be, and then plan your work around that, not the other way around. For me, I never worked at getting a promotion. In fact, most times I wasn't even sure what might be next. I didn't play workplace politics or go out of my way to make an impression. I didn't even apply for the next job up. Instead, I just did my best, following the advice of Colossians 3, verse 23 and 24, where it says, "Whatever you do, work at it with all your heart, as if working for the Lord, not human masters, since you know you'll receive an inheritance from the Lord as a reward." And then check the last part of this verse. It is the Lord Christ you are serving. Those verses align well with what we adopted as our family motto, which more or less summarized my attitude to work. And that was this: do your best and let Jesus do the rest. No politics, no stress, just do your best, let Jesus do the rest. Do your best and let Jesus do the rest. In all of my jobs, it was my goal to do my best and then trust God for the rest. I'm telling you these things to show you that it's how you complete your job, not the specifics of what you do or what your title is, that's most important. How we do our work is our best witness, isn't it? It's not what job we hold or even what we say or anything like that, but it's how we do the jobs assigned to us. That's our best witness for God. That's what Colossians 3 verse 23 says. Working as if for the Lord Christ himself. And you know what? If your job lines up with your skills, your interests, what you enjoy, what you're good at, well, everything else gets easy. And then you know what? God is glorified, just like he was glorified by the various laborers, purchasing agents, supervisors, gatekeepers, secretaries that we read about on the temple rebuilding project in 2 Chronicles chapter 34. So, when you consider moving to a new job or staying where you're at, make sure that the job matches who you are. And when you do that, that'll set you up for a lot more enjoyment, effectiveness, and energy, both at work and at home. You know, there's no ideal job. No ideal job based on what's popular in your company or your social circles or with your friends or in the world today. There's nothing ideal, not even what your mother or father thinks. The best job, if there is an ideal job, it's the one that matches who you are, who God made you to be. Following his lead in this way is the best next step that you can take to finding your happiness and glorifying God in your work. In the download that goes with this video, dig into this with some very pointed and personal questions. Don't skip them. They're important to answering the question, are you in the right job? Spend the necessary time and then come on back and continue forward. Thanks. Be blessed.